This is the place where I was born. This is where our house is to stand. Here was the last one to the on this end, and we were living here with my mother, my father, and my younger brother. We used to play around this place with my friends, people we were of the same age, and most people who are living here, they were conducting a business of selling illicit brews, that is busa and changa, which are prohibited by the law. When I was 10 years old, my mother was arrested by the police. I remember very well that night. We were sleeping, then the police came and they knocked on the door of one of my neighbors, and they started a search for illicit brews, and she was convicted and sentenced to serve 3 months imprisonment. And by the time she was coming, I had already engaged into street life, and for sure I was beyond redemption. We were left, me and my brother, at the mercy of no one, because my father had gone. He just went away with the arresting of my mother. We had nowhere to sleep, and we had nothing to eat. Therefore, we were forced by circumstances to move into the streets. While I was in the streets, that is where I learned how to smoke, how to sniff glue, and life was not very easy for us. We would suffer from the rains, from the cold, from hunger, from torture from people, and all sorts of mistreatments. But God has been very faithful to us, even when we were in the streets, and God assisted us. God was so much with us. I engaged into casual labor. The few shillings that I got, I saved. I started working in the market. I was in the business of selling fruits. I saved the amount of money that I got. I partnered with one of my friends, and we started a video showing business. And where I stand now is where the video hall used to be. And here there was a lot of, so many seats, and the door was here. So people would come this way, they enter, they pay, then they sit, they watch. After watching, then they go home. This place is where I used to get my video cassettes for the video library. And while I was there in the video library, a police officer entered into the video library and tapped me. And I did not understand why I would give a police officer money for something that I had not done. This is the place I was shot. The police officers stood at a distance over there, shot at me, and then I started running. I took off towards this direction, and some few meters beyond the police quarters, I fell down. And as I was supporting myself to stand, I felt that my hand was numb. And then it was bleeding profusely. From here downwards, all the bones had shattered. And it was very painful. It was the realization. I realized that a fatal injury has occurred into my life. see, St. Martin was my only hope. I knew too well that what the police had done was bad for me. They fabricated false charges. They said that on that day at around 10, I had snatched a purse from a lady somewhere near the market. Therefore, when I was shot, actually the following morning, when people came to visit me on my hospital bed, I asked one of them to go to St. Martin and report that I was shot and I was already in hospital. So some people came from St. Martin. They found it was true that I had been shot and I was lying there on the hospital bed, agonizing. Father Gabriel came and he asked me, Makara, tell us, did you steal from anybody? I told him, Father, I did not steal from anybody. He asked me again, Makara, did you steal from anybody? I told him, Father, I did not steal. I did not do anything to anybody. He asked me the third time, Makara, did you steal from anybody? Tell us the truth. Did you steal from anybody? I looked at him and turned on the other side of the bed and I started crying. So St. Martin mobilized the community to fight for my justice. So people were mobilized and they came and they protested against the injustice that I was undergoing. St. Martin played a major role in my liberation. St. Martin people used to come to visit me when I was in remand. Robbery with violence is a capital offense here in Kenya. So St. Martin, in collaboration with another organization known as International Justice Mission, which has its headquarters in Washington, D.C., they came. I was given legal representation and I was free. I remember when I was shot, it was very difficult for me. I remember there's a time I was praying to God. I asked God to perform a miracle, that tomorrow when I wake up, may my hand be healed and may my hand be restored to the position it was. But God was not stupid to answer that prayer. I had to heal slowly and naturally, and my hand had to stay amputated the way it was. Studied for 2 years, and I came back and I started working in the community program for active non-violence and human rights, which is currently known as Community Program for Peace and Reconciliation, and I started working as a legal assistant. But I would say it changed my life from worse to better, because now I am involved in the fight against injustice, and I would say that I am happy that it happened to me and to nobody else.
Maisha ilikuwa ngumu hapo juu sasa kustruggle, una pesa, una kwa kukula, una kwa kulala. Maisha ilikuwa ngumu na nilikaa tuseme kwa 7 good years. Kaona rĩngĩ mũgũthi harĩa mũrĩaga rĩngĩ mũrĩa mũkawa iria ciatigara. Wakaone cithirire kana nini. Nona no nginya rĩu cianyiha. No nginya mũhũrane ũru mũno. Rĩu nĩtũrũĩte mũno na makara. No akĩrio mũrata tondũ na ngamu no tũthiĩte nake. Ndio sasa nikaanza kuseto pole pole juu niliingia stage, nikaanza kupebea watu mizigo, kaenda nikaongea na St. Martin, kajenga mkokoteni moja kanipea, nikaendelea na kazi. Sasa nikaseto, ndio nikarudisha yao, nikanunua yangu. thiaga kwĩ mwana icio ngacira kũnyua ngamuti wega tondũ ndona rĩu na he ingĩ ndwarĩte kũu gwĩ St. Martin nginya cikagimarĩra kuo he ingĩ citeithĩkĩire kũu cia ingĩ cithomithagio bado rĩu nĩ tũteithanagio ũguo na niĩ ngĩrwara nĩ thiaga kũu rĩngĩ ona ciana cingĩrwara magathondekithĩria tondũ rĩu tũkĩrĩ arata kuma tene.
So this is a scrapyard, and this is a point where when these boys get the metals and plastic material from town, when they collect them from town, they come and bring them here. This place is owned by a person, and he is the proprietor of this business. So when he gets these items, he weighs them. So if they are maybe 5 kilograms, he pays per kilo. I don't know how much he pays per kilo.
35.
Yeah, so he pays 25 shillings per kilo, and that is what these young men use to survive on. So that's where they get their livelihood from. So most of the time during the day they roam around in town, they get into the estates collecting plastic material and any metallic material they may meet along the way. But then they come with them here, sell them to these people, and then they get something to live on. So that is their life, day in, day out.
You see now, this one is plastic. This one is plastic.
That one is plastic, and then we come here, then we come in here.
Oh,
20, no, you're lucky for 15 ika.
15, kita kilo 2 na 30, lakini kita kilo 1 ni 15.
This is boy.
But you are hungry, tiger.
This boy.
This one is my friend.
This boy is man.
One of the major reasons or the major objective of coming for street work is to get the boys who can join our centers and have them join our centers. Then the other thing is to recruit the bigger street boys. We call them street youths. And we make them to be like volunteers. So what they do is that when they identify a new kid who come immediately in the streets, they bring them to St. Martin so that they can get assisted. One good thing that we've discovered is that they are more efficient than we are. They are able to notice a young boy who comes to the streets, and then we have found it easier to work with those young ones that have not tasted the street life, so that we are able to rehabilitate them and take them back home. Then when those who agree to leave the streets join our rehabilitation centers, they first taken to the drop-in center, and after rehabilitation, they are taken back home. The major role that we have there is to rehabilitate them and to reintegrate them back into the community.
I am professionally a teacher, and I taught in secondary school for 9 years. After the 9 years, the call to serve in the work of the ministry or to serve in the church was too much, and I resigned from teaching and joined the Happy Church to serve as a pastor in Nyahururu and the churches around Nyahururu. St. Martin as an organization has been operating in Nyahururu for a number of years, and they requested me if they could set their team to come to our church for awareness, and I welcomed them, and that's how I first met with St. Martin. And when I realized that St. Martin had a program of helping those who are needy children in the street, I felt this is the area where I would like to serve. I realized that St. Martin was out to help the needy, and especially the needy children. And that one really touched me, and I felt like if I could volunteer myself to help a needy child come up and fulfill his or her life, and that one really pulled me to serve in the St. Martin, the spirit of surrendering myself and giving myself to serve in the community. And I became part of the management in that team or in that department. I served in St. Martin for like 4 years, and then after that I discovered another area that needed attention, and this is ministry to the aged people. And I realized that the aged people are not really taken care of. They are lonely and kind of neglected. And I requested St. Martin to allow me to do an extension by helping the needy people. And therefore, I was released from day-to-day activities with the Street and Needy program, and I went to the community to help the aged people. It's still like an extension of St. Martin, and we are still working together with this great community. Okay, St. Martin has really helped me, especially developing or helping the spirit of sharing my life with the needy. Okay, St. Martin is a gift to Nyahururu community, very much, because they came in, and this is a work that has not been done by other organizations. The community has woken up to realize that we can participate in helping our own needy people rise from their very needy situations and become responsible people. So we thank God for St. Martin in this community.
St. Martin is playing a very important role in the community. I think going to the grassroots, reaching to the people who would otherwise have not gotten this information, I think that's very, very important. Having people who are able to freely go out of their way to reach to people with different needs, because we have these needs in our community. And then, of course, when you are meeting the needs of others, you have some of your needs which are being answered in the process. Most of the volunteers we have in the field are people who have a background of addiction, people who have been through this program, people who understand, people who are able to empathize with those already into action, people in addiction, people who are not judgmental. Now we are going to visit Ria Nyagodie. She joined the Alcoholic Anonymous group that is facilitated by St. Martin. Previously, Leah was a policewoman, but she was sacked because of her drinking, and then she came to this village and started brewing changa. Changa is a very potent gin. We have been with Leah for the last 3 years. From that time, she has not been drinking. On 9th of January this year, she celebrated 3 years of not drinking. The family was very happy, and they even awarded her with a special gift, which she is always very proud to show people.
Gĩkĩ nĩ gĩkombe ndareheirwo nĩ bamĩrĩ
nĩ ũndũ wa gũikara mĩaka ĩrĩ itanyuĩte njohi makĩndehera gĩkombe.
Ici ciothe?
Ici ciothe.
Sherehe yarĩ hĩndĩ ĩrĩkũ?
Mweri kenda nĩrĩo ndaninaga mĩaka ĩrĩ. Januari.
Ũyũ nĩ mwaka wa gatatũ?
I do hairdressing. That is where I earn. Apart from making hair, also I do human rights. I also go looking for vulnerable families, maybe talk to them, advise them on the way forward in life, tell them you have friends. Also I visit disabled. I take care of women and their rights. I show them about law and tell them much about their rights. Also children's rights. I was so free with the community, and most of the time I could do volunteer work to the church, to the community. The chief knew me, and a lot of these big government people knew me that I am one of the volunteers. So when St. Martin's people came here, they were looking for someone who can volunteer, who can do the work I'm doing. And most of them said, "Kasi ya bure, so work for free?" No, I can't do it. So they said, "Oh, that lady who does volunteer everything. When everything is there, every meeting she's there, helping, she's there. That one is good for that work." And then they asked, "Is this the lady you want? Is this the kind of person, the character you want?" Okay. That is how I joined St. Martin. There is one thing very important that people don't understand, that I also came to understand later. Okay, that the way God created me is something which is special. He created me with the different aspects. But me without knowledge is nothing. Me without a hobby is nothing. Me without anything that I can focus to is nothing. If I am willing to do this without knowledge, and maybe St. Martin is giving me this knowledge free of charge, not charging me, I saw it very important for me. A very big present that nobody can give me. Because if I go to school, they teach me, bring money. Me, I don't have money. But the education they are giving me also is very special. They are not charging me. I put it in my head and I use it. Through what they have learned from them have changed my life. For this education, and others could just take it for maybe this we are wasting our time. They couldn't see the important part of it, that here I don't have anything, I don't have knowledge. They are giving me knowledge, they are giving me way forward of my life, they are opening doors for my future and windows. So I thought I belong to this place now, and that's where I put myself in.
My name is Irene Jerry Wamidi. I live in Nyahururu in Kenya. I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya based in Nyahururu. Sometime in 1999, Father Gabriel came to visit me in my office. Although he was a young priest in Nyahururu, within Nyahururu diocese, and he thought that I could serve in St. Martin as a volunteer. At the beginning, I thought that I was called upon to give the gift which I thought I knew best, that is offering free legal services to the organization and to the people that St. Martin was working for. But when I started working for the vulnerable people, I realized that the vulnerable people have got something to give to me. I was able St. Martin has enabled me to become conscious about the needs of other people. It has also affirmed in me the value of being in a community. Because at the beginning, I think when you are an individual, you are able to do ABCD, you are okay. But I have realized that being in a community is very, very important. Because you need friends, you need relationship, you need friendship. For me, St. Martin is an opportunity to be able to work for the vulnerable people. So I would say that it is me who has benefited so much. Sometimes I even ask, do I give anything? Or I'm just receiving?
My name is Grace Wanjirodekwa. I was not born the way I am. I got the disability when I was 8 years. It was 2003. I left the school because I could not be able to walk to school. And I stayed at home 3 years without attending to school. When I started by feeling weak in my legs becomes weak, small, and then I did not able to walk again. My mom think that I was really cursed or bad thing happened to me, maybe they did not take it well. You know, they think that maybe I was cursed, something like that. So they started hiding me like that. They did not like me to see other people. We started when they got that St. Martin we come to know them. They started like teaching. No, we should not hide your girl. That is after 3 years. After 3 years in home, staying at home without attending school. When St. Martin come to know us, that the enlightened, it's like educating. The educators, you are not supposed to hide your child. So even the community, they used to saw me, they used to see me young, and I used to interact with them. Even community around, they love me. And now my mom is thinking positively towards me. She loves me now. She don't hit me. But it's after a certain people, that is St. Martin, showing that those people are important and the community should love them.
We heard from the St. Martin that there is a child who wants to be fostered because he has no family. He has no father, he doesn't talk, he can't communicate to anyone to say where he belongs, and he was found in the streets. We just discussed with the family whether we can stay with the child. We did not know even whether he's a boy or a girl or how he looks like. Anyway, we just said, okay, we can stay with the child and then see what will happen thereafter. We have two sisters here. We had a difference with one of them, which was coming every now and then. I did not understand how it came. But some at some point, the difference was always there. When Martin was here, I came to realize that the difference was going away slowly by slowly. When Martin went to her, he would just go to her place because there are some other small children there. He will take food there, he will take tea there. After sometimes he will stay there up to sometimes late in the evening. So slowly by slowly, I started to go to her to pick him. Sometimes she would bring him here. Then at one point I just found that we were back together. We were talking normally. The differences had somehow started to go away slowly by slowly. I came to realize that, yes, Martin was the one who was making this difference to go away. And we came to know that the differences were not even so much. She used to come here regularly. I used to go to her place. So the difference vanished slowly by themselves with the help of this guy. So we appreciated. Yeah. Today we are talking like a brother and a sister. That way.
I must feel His presence near me, and His arms around me thrown. Then my soul shall fear no ill. Let Him lead me where He will. I will go without a murmur, and His footsteps follow still. I must have the Savior with me, for my faith at best is weak. He can whisper words of comfort that no other voice can speak. Then my soul shall fear no ill. Let Him lead me where He will.
Nel febbraio del 1997 io ero cappellano del blocco di Nyahururu e il parroco mi ha chiesto di andare a fare la benedizione delle case. In una di queste case ho trovato una signora un po' fanatica, aveva un po' il desiderio che io benedissi tutto. Allora mi ha fatto benedire tutta la casa, che era una capanna poverissima, poi mi ha fatto benedire gli animali, mi ha fatto benedire i campi, le capre, la mucca, insomma ho benedetto tutto e poi mi ha offerto una tazza di tè. Ero parecchio stanco, ho accettato, mi sono seduto in casa e lei è uscita perché qui si usa che la cucina è fuori. E allora è uscita a preparare il tè. E quando è uscita a preparare il tè io ho sentito un rumore che proveniva dall'unica porta dove lei non mi ha portato. L'ho notata quella porta. Insomma, sono andato ad aprire la porta, vedo una sagoma e riconosco un uomo, un giovane uomo nudo, e in quel momento la signora mi entra e mi trova lì, dico questo è suo figlio? E lei dice sì, è mio figlio. E io un po' imbarazzato, non sapevo bene come reagire, come spiegarmi, dico ma siccome abbiamo fatto la benedizione delle case, la prima cosa che mi è venuta in mente è dire ma vuole che diamo una benedizione anche a lui? La signora mi guarda e mi dice ma non si può benedire perché è maledetto. E io ho detto ma certo che si può benedire, anzi si può anche battezzare, vuole che lo battezziamo. E fu così che battezzammo il figlio di questa signora e chiese alla signora che nome volesse e disse Thomas, battezziamo Thomas. Dopo quella notte ho chiesto al parroco di allora, che poi è diventato vescovo, Don Luigi, se fosse opportuno iniziare un lavoro con i disabili. Lui ne fu entusiasta. Allora ho chiamato 11 volontari, 11 persone di cui avevo molta fiducia, della comunità, e con loro siamo andati a trovare Thomas, la prima cosa che abbiamo fatto. Dopo pochi giorni Thomas è morto e io sono davvero convinto che Thomas non sarebbe morto prima di aver compiuto la sua missione. E la sua missione era proprio di cambiare il cuore di questi primi volontari. Cioè Thomas è colui che è riuscito a motivare il primo gruppo di persone che si sono impegnate e che hanno fatto poi nascere St. Martin e che sono state prima di tutto cambiate loro, cioè trasformate. E poi hanno cambiato molti altri. E in questo senso possiamo dire che effettivamente Thomas è il fondatore del St. Martin. Chi si illude di essere agente di trasformazione è ridicolo. Martin è un agente di trasformazione. Martin ha trasformato questa famiglia, ha trasformato noi. Thomas ha trasformato me, ha trasformato il primo gruppo di volontari con il quale siamo andati a trovarlo. Ecco, la grazia dell'incontro è una grazia, potremmo chiamarla, di trasformazione. Cioè l'incontro crea una trasformazione. Certamente nella vita del povero, del quale magari ci prendiamo cura, ma il permettere al povero di prendersi cura di noi crea una trasformazione nel nostro cuore.